Good morning, everybody. Hope you had a great weekend, and I appreciate you being here this morning. If you will, like, share, comment on the post, and then if you are able to do so, we will be in the 16th chapter of Acts, beginning in verse 8. After being told where they were not allowed to go, now we read what takes place. Verse 8, so passing by Mysia, they went down to Troas, and a vision appeared to Paul in the night. A man of Macedonia was standing there, urging him and saying, come over to Macedonia and help us. Paul, again, and his group being forbidden to go into their chosen area, Paul then is directed through a vision to go into a new area. And we see this comes to him through a vision. There's several things that I think are important to note for us in this story. One is we see that when Paul didn't get his way, when he wasn't allowed to go to where he wanted to go, he didn't quit going. He then went where God told him to go. When he did, just because he didn't get his way and God had vetoed his plans, he was still willing to go wherever God led him. He didn't get discouraged. He didn't get down, didn't get angry. He continued to teach and to preach and to minister, and was waiting then for God to give him his next assignment. And great lesson for you and I in not just spiritual things, but in life in general. That just because we don't necessarily get our way doesn't mean we pout and we quit. Paul continued to serve, and when he did, he was called to Europe. Instead of going to Asia, he's called. God gives him a vision of a man from Macedonia calling out to him, begging him to come and help evangelize their area. Again, this is a call that sent Paul in a totally different direction than what he had originally intended on doing. And so Paul gets this clear vision to go in again to Macedonia and to Europe, that God wanted him to go from Troas, which is today modern day Turkey, to go over across the Aegean Sea into Macedonia, into Europe, and to preach the gospel there, and to kind of bring together Asia and Europe with the gospel. And the point I'd like to make to you that hits me as I think about this is, I just finished spending a few minutes talking about Paul not quitting, Paul not giving up. Because Paul didn't give up, then he got the vision to go to Macedonia. Then he got permission to go to Macedonia. And the question I'd like to put into your head is, do you think Paul would have ever ended up in Macedonia had he not listened to God? Had he persisted, had he continued to pursue going into Asia? Had Paul continued to pursue that, or had Paul gotten angry and sat down? Would he have ever got this word, and would the gospel have ever made it to Europe? We don't know the answer to that question. It's very possible that God would have raised someone else up to carry the message to Europe, but when, where, how effective they would they have been as effective as Paul? Who knows how things could have turned out had Paul not been obedient even when God said no. And That is a powerful, powerful lesson for you and I today, to continue the course, to continue serving, even when maybe we don't understand, when we don't see which way we're going, when we're not going to where we want to go, when we're not getting our way, when things are not going according to our plan, that we continue to wait and to watch and to look for the leadership of God. Had Paul again been persistent and ignored God, would he have ever heard from this vision calling him to Macedonia? I tend to think not. But because he was obedient, even when he didn't get his way, then God continued to use him. Something really powerful to think about for us today. Are we being obedient even when it's easy to be obedient when God is leading us where we want to go to begin with? The challenge is, will we follow God when he leads us somewhere we didn't want to go? You think about it. Have a good day. We'll see you here tomorrow morning.